Some distances are really hard to measure. We live on this planet, and if I asked you to measure north to south, you could come up with a figure, couldn't you? Probably you'd have to look it up in a book. But North Pole, South Pole, clear enough. But if I said to you, can you measure east to west? It could be a little bit more difficult. You could give me the circumference of the earth, but in some ways that would be missing the point, because when it comes to understanding east to west, how far does it stretch? It's just impossible to measure, isn't it? And that is the point that the psalmist is making when in Psalm 103 we read these words in verse 12, as far as the east is from the west. In other words, a huge, unmeasurable distance. So far has He, God, removed our transgressions from us. You know, we carry a burden of all the things that we've got wrong. It's like a list. It's like goes on and on and on. And I'm so glad that when I came to Jesus, He didn't ask me to confess my sins. Otherwise, I would have been at it forever. I had to confess my sin. It was as if He was saying, I'll lay the axe to the root. Just give me the root. Don't pick off all the bad fruit. Give me the root. And He laid His axe to that sin. And yet there is still this sense of all these things from the past. And yet the good news is, as far as the east is from the west, so far has God removed our transgressions from us. Now, here's the challenge. He's moved them that far away. But there is a sense in which some of us seem to just want to reach out and bring them back into our orbit. It's almost like we can't really believe that God has moved them that far, so we think they're just around the corner. So it's almost like we're living with our old temptations constantly. Whereas in fact, God is saying, look, let me cleanse your conscience from dead works. Let me put these things far, far away. Some people may remember them. Even the devil might try and remind you of them. But as far as God is concerned, as far as the east is from the west, so far has He moved our transgressions from us. Isn't that incredible? Make the most of it and don't live as if the transgressions are still on your back.